All right, guys, Patreon early access YouTube situation. Ground and pound defense. A few people from YouTube made this request. I don't usually do YouTube requests. I usually do Patreon requests. There was a decent number of people that wanted an answer how to defend ground and pound and how to deal with an aggressive guy on top. So let's say we're in close guard situation and I have Pete on top looking to land devastating blows. So the number one focus of mine on bottom is inside control of my arm. So if he goes to posture and punch from here and I'm looking for outside control, he's gonna dominate the center line, he's gonna land really damaging shots. So as I start to read that he's posturing to punch, I get my hips out and I use my knee and my elbow as a frame. So when he goes to land a hard shot, his arm meets the connection between my knee and my elbow, this closed wedge. Okay, if he coincides on the opposite side, I run my hips in the opposite direction and I use that same concept of connecting my knees and my elbows together to prevent him from landing damaging blows. Now that's the number one concept, is how do I get inside? If you notice now, my hands and my knees reside inside of his elbow line. Whenever that's the case, I'll be able to do pretty good work. He's gonna have one of two options. He's either gonna stand up, right, go ahead, he stands up, as a means of driving into me, in which he can posture up, because my controls are weak here, and this is obviously horrible for me. So, as I sense him start to stand up, the first thing we do is we make a quick switch off from a linear grip to a cross grip. So as I do that, I switch my hands to a downward facing 2-on-1, and I get my left knee behind his knee. Whenever that's the case, watch how my feet slide in, and I create an off-balancing scenario where I get his hands on the ground. So I went straight to Kazushi in a position where he's not able to land punches. So this is where people go wrong, is you get into these positions where your feet, your hands are on the inside, but you don't use any off-balancing. So if he postures, I do everything right. I go downward facing 2-on-1, I get my feet in the right position, he's gonna damage me. So the concept has to be, I have to create off-balancing momentum where his hands are on the ground where he can't do damage. Okay, whenever that's the case, I can enter into leg entanglements, I can break my training partner's base down, etc. Lots of options from there. So that's when the guy stands up. We'll do that again. I managed to get inside position on Pete. He starts to stand up. This is much easier with gloves on because my hands are going to attach to the meat of the glove, the 4-ounce padding. So it's going to be like a plunger effect where he's not going to be able to pull his arm out. So it's even easier if he has gloves on. I switch to a cross grip. Why this is effective is he's not able to land damaging blows on that side. If he tries to, I can use my foot, etc. I can enter into triangles. I can obviously up kick from here as well. So I'm in a position where he can't do any real damage. From here, I sneak my feet to the inside position and I immediately hit a Kazushi. I get his weight going toward my upper right quadrant. Once again, from here, I can off balance my partner. I can start putting his legs in positions where I can get my head higher than his, and I can start coming up on top to do damage. Again, that's a position or a situation where he stands up in my guard. But there's other options, right? He goes to land a big shot on me. I make my connection. He throws another shot. I get my hands inside. This time he doesn't stand up, he tries to run away. So as he slides his knees back, I bring both hands to the end of my training partner's wrist. From here, my feet again go to the inside position and I immediately sit up to a traditional over-under position. Again, from this proximity, he can't do damage, right? He can punch me in my body on the far side. You can't see on this side, it's not a big deal. So he can hit me with shots here. But the thing is, I have inside position with my legs, which gives me the ability to create off balancing. So that's our main concept. But whenever we're fighting, we're always trying to make sure the guy's off balance so he can't do damage. As I start to off balance Pete towards his right, he hits a wide post. Notice what he did. Because I took away his post with his right arm, he used his right leg to base. From here, we go to what we call a Hizaguruma type action, where we place our foot on the base of his ankle. And then from here, I scissor, and I end up in a perfect position to come up on top, start doing damage, and looking for dominant control from the top position. So this is when a guy keeps his hips low and he runs his hips back from me. Let's look at that again. Pete's in a dangerous position, so I get my feet on the inside. As he slides back, I immediately focus on getting feet inside. From here, we sit up, and we go over-under position. We hit Kazushi towards our left, and he posts with his foot. Normal reaction. From here, we place our foot on the base of his ankle, and we hit a Hizaguruma, where I can can sweep in, I can pass, and then obviously the fight is mine from here, okay? It's easy to do damage. That's when the guy stays on his knees, runs his hips back. Guy stands up, cross grip, feet on the inside, Kazushi. We're either breaking legs, we're breaking bases, we're putting feet on cash. Now if he tries to get his head higher than mine, I think this is a golden detail too, it's really important. Get up to your foot. See if he can't, because I'm stepping on his calf. And from here, you're doing hard shots, knees, and you're looking to wrestle from the top position. That's if he stands up. He stands up, common. If he gets his hips back, once again, so this time he was here, he runs his hips away from me. We pull up and follow momentum. We go over under. We hit our lateral sweep, where we attempt to sweep him over. He bases with his foot. We hit our Hizaguruma. Sweep. And then from here, we're ready to do damage on the top. That's how you defend ground and pound. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check out the Patreon link as well while you're there. Pete, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Subscribe, share, like, comment, Patreon. Links in the bio. Thank you, my brother.